Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Buckshot Thursday here on the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I'm, as always, your host, AR the Ohio Patriot. We are joined by Soulless Ginger himself, Corey, today. And we're
What
going
it
to talk
do, Betty
about
Boo?
a bunch of different things, including supernatural encounters, solar flares, and the weird-ass thing with the AT&T phone system today, general weirdness in America. But before we start with all that, I was looking into some recent places that are supposedly up for rent in the Canton area, and came upon this winner of a hellhole right here, where you can literally tell this isn't the ghetto just because it has a giant ass bar door on the outside door. And then, as Corey and I were talking about before we started this, when you open up this barred door here, you get this little shit shack storage area with a bunch of exposed wires everywhere for like some kind of storage area. And you can tell this was definitely somebody's basement in an actual house that was redone at the cheapest possible amount into
Yeah,
a so-called functioning apartment, which is not.
this looks like it should be Dahmer's basement.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was a serial killer basement, honestly. I mean, like even looking at this, it's supposed to be like the main living area. I see no wind. Like there, obviously, when you look outside there was that plexiglass, or yeah, it was like the plexiglass window thing there, but there's like no window exposure at all here in this room. So it's basically just a dungeon that you're living in with
Yeah,
zero
you're supposed to have
sunlight.
an egress, like an escape window for an egress in case
Uh-huh.
a fire and you
Yeah,
can't get to the front door.
yeah. And speaking of fires, we get to first off the microwave oven combo that's all shimmeled in the back there.
Yeah, that
And then
microwave looks like it's
to
from the
the
90s.
exposed ass fucking extension cords for the sink, which is obviously tied into the plug there. And then this looks like it's another extension cord for either the refrigerator or something else for that matter. And then this is the bathroom, supposedly, where you have exposed wires on the lights. You have the shittiest fucking shower on a what looks like plywood board set that I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't even know how you can get in and out of that, honestly, without hurting yourself, because that sink is right there. And
Just don't slip in the shower.
then we got I'm guessing this is the master bedroom, the actual bedroom of the one bedroom, one bathroom here, where we have
I don't know.
more
I think
extension cords.
I think that's the living room because if you look back there by the light at the bottom,
Uh-huh.
that looks like a stairwell.
But then you also have this shitty ass fucking ceiling. It looks like you could hit like one time on it with something, and the entire thing is going to come falling down on top of you with whoever's on top of it.
Yeah,
So
but
I
that's
don't
a
know.
staircase back there because if you look,
Yeah, maybe
the
that's a staircase
corner,
to the main house. I don't know.
maybe, yeah, because there's that landing. You can see the discoloration at the
Yeah.
floor, and
Which is even more
so
creepy because if this is supposed to be like a private place, like what the hell is the staircase going to? Unless that is where you have a shared washer and dryer, which would make sense because that's the only thing that's not shown here.
hmm
But yeah, like if this is going to be like your bedroom, like I don't want some random ass person able to walk down my fucking staircase while I'm sleeping at night and slit my throat.
This reminds me of that shitty movie that dumb bitch that played Captain Marvel did.
Oh, Brie Larson.
Yeah, Brie Larson. She did a movie where she was abducted, and her abductor got her pregnant, so she ended up having a kid in the damn
Uh-huh.
box room.
Yeah,
Except that room was, I think it was called The Room or something like that, and it was smaller,
probably. I don't
obviously,
know.
than this, but I don't know, just the creepy factor of it reminds me
Yeah,
of that movie.
like I said, like even just looking at this storage area, it's like, is this where you just keep the dead bodies? Like seriously.
God, they used a lot of wood glue on that motherfucking floor.
It's so bad.
Because that literally, that's what that looks like. It looks like all wood glue.
Yeah, it just looks so bad.
That or that fucking spray foam.
It's something. I think that's what it is. It's like spray, like on the back here. It's like a bunch of spray insulation for all the cracks and shit that were there for all the mice and stuff that were like coming in there. That's another thing too that they don't talk about is the rodents that are gonna get from this fucking place. Yeah, because this is definitely like the living room kitchen combination here.
Living there, that's how you get fucking bubonic plague.
Yeah, like there is no fucking way that this place would ever fit human habitation. Like you could easily call the city on these motherfuckers, and you would definitely get like a big ass payout for this, because you would die in this place if you lived there. Like that is just a terrible, terrible area. Like that's also not the best part of Canton either, but like still, I mean, like nah, man. Like if you're paying $500 a month for this piece of shit, like you're retarded. I'm gonna say it like it is.
I wonder if the people that own that house, like if they fix that up, quote unquote fix, for like one of their kids, and that was like their place, their little mini apartment or whatever, and they moved out, and they're like, I wonder if we can just rent it out.
Yeah, probably. That has to be what it had to be, because like even just looking at how it was set up, like you have extension cords, everything here, like from the oven to the microwave to the fridge to the sink are all plugged into extension cords.
Why would the sink need an extension cord though?
I don't understand that either. And it kind of makes me question: is this even a water hookup here? Like, is this even like actually? That'd probably be where the blue and white or blue and red hoses come from, because that's the fucking water hookup. Then
that's called PEX tubing. The blue is for cold, the hot is for red. And my thing that it's the kicker. Look on the sink. That's a little fire extinguisher.
Yeah, because they know this has already caught fire at least once.
Yeah, that PEX tubing is actually really good shit. It won't freeze.
I mean, it might catch fire though.
Oh yeah, it might catch fire, but
although to be fair, I mean, no, it's like seriously though. Look at this area. Like, look where this is plugged in at right here, and then look at the cables and stuff around it. That has already caught fire at least once.
That's not up to code for damn sure.
No, like dude, I'm about to like fake rent this place out just to sue the shit out of these people. And like force them to put it up to code for like a good place then.
I don't know if they can afford it.
Probably not, and that's the whole point. And that's why I just take the entire house then is what it would be, and I just, sell that house then what it would be then. Make some money that way. Keep this place. So yeah, no, but for real though, like that's just, oh my god. Like and like I said, just the shower and just like even just looking at the ceiling in the shower here. They did the same thing there with the Plex tube stuff. They pulled a fucking piece of the actual ceiling out to push that in there.
Yeah,
same thing with the toilet too. It's there too as well.
God almighty, this is so ghetto,
dude. Oh my god, it's so it gets so much worse the more you look at it.
This looks like a certain person named Hunter went on a bender and fixed this place. Yeah,
and actually now I'm thinking about looking at the ceiling again. Like this is how you're getting your heat bar over here too, because it's coming through the fucking ceiling. Probably from the I want to know what the main house looks like on this part. Then if that be the case, because there's definitely got to be like shit everywhere on the main area there for everything going down in this basement for all these different extension cords and plugs and everything else like that. Let's check out the street view on this place.
Yeah, that main house looks like shit too. Look at all the siding falling off.
Yeah, that one's not too bad behind it though.
Yeah.
This is definitely the ghetto for sure of Canton. Yeah, you can tell these houses are built in like the 1920s or 30s because even that teeny ass door right there.
Yeah, you're not fitting modern furniture for that shit.
Oh man, yeah, that looks real terrible there. I'm trying to even figure out, was this even the house or is it a different house? This looks like a different house entirely. Unless maybe that's the house over here. Ew. No, that's a house that got burned down partially. So.
No, that's the house, man.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah. I was trying to figure out where the hell what you call it is here though.
You see, look, if you that's it right
Oh
there because
yeah. Okay. This was
that's the
before they
port.
repainted it apparently. And then yeah, you're right. That was before they put
Yeah.
the actual bars on the door then apparently.
Yeah.
Jesus. It looks like they widened the door probably too on this, then if that'd be the case. Comparing to the actual. Oh no, I guess it's about the same size. Maybe a little bigger. And it has its own little, looks like mailbox there now. Yeah, it's just so bad. It's so fucking bad. Like I said, it just gets so much worse the more you look at it. Check out some other places. Let's see. 4-bedroom, 1 bath, 2,000-ish square feet, $1,300 a month. That's over in Massillon. 4-bedroom, 1 bath, 2,380 square feet, 1,950 or 95 a month. Some here don't even have things on them. That's not bad. 2-bedroom, 1 bath, 1,386, $575 a month. Oh, let's check this out. Yeah, that 2-car garage looks like it could use some work. So could these windows.
You're not gonna expect it much for $575 a month. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I figure this is probably losing a lot of heat every year.
And it's not like it was, a couple decades ago when rent was cheap and you could expect to have a nicer place.
This was the house was built in 1909, so it's over 100 years old, 115 years.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's a Centurion then. That makes sense because that's probably the original window sills and everything else like that too on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know ours is going on a Century right now. It's got a very similar look to the outside stuff there too, but it's not too bad. Let's see here. This is $995 a month for 3-bedroom, 1 bath. This is in Canton. Like that new steel refrigerator there. So got some new appliances too. That's a freaky looking door though. I don't know if that's your front door or your back door or what door that it is. Yeah, bathroom. That bathroom kind of looks like a prison cell. The way it's got a little blockade there and everything.
Yeah.
It's kind of freaky actually. I've actually seen there's like some. I don't know if you've ever been to them where it's like it's obviously like a 1-person bathroom because it's got like a single shitter in it in a public area or whatever there. And they're like expecting you to like leave the door unlocked for somebody else to come in because there's like a urinal next to you. It's like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna be here alone. Thanks. Click. But yeah, that's what that reminds me of, though.
Yeah, no, fuck that shit.
Else like that. All right, let's keep looking on the rest of that. It's a creepy looking staircase. It's not a bad looking bedroom though. I like that bedroom. Looks like another bedroom there. Nice little screened in porch area there. Oh, that's interesting. It almost looks like you got 2 different doors here. So unless they made this into like a double apartment, or unless there's like 2 different ways to get into the house, like that's weird. I wouldn't think that would be like a front door and a back door. That would be like a front door and a side door or something, maybe. Weird. Yeah, not too bad though. A little outdated, but not terrible. Yeah, let's check some of these other ones out. Let's see, 1,200, 13, 950. Yeah, this is pretty much Ohio for you, though, honestly, especially in like the rural areas and stuff where nobody has money. Like, this is what you're going to end up with. Or it's like these new, like, weird, like, condo places here. It's just like modern, weird living.
Yeah, I don't like modern crap.
Yeah, I'd rather have something like this, honestly, right here. Or like something like the $6.95 a month right here. Let's check this place out. See, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Not a fan of the exposed staircases. I never have been. I've always been freaked out of heights, fear of falling and stuff like that. And I don't like looking down into like open spaces. So anyway. All right, so you got to bring your own fridge there. Bathroom. Looks like probably the master bedroom here. Yeah, it's not too bad of a little kitchen area there. Yeah. I can see living there maybe. Although not a fan of that staircase with my bad knee and shit. So, this is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath. $505 a month. Probably multiple apartments in the same little house there, is my guess. Yeah, not bad. All right, well, enough of this. Let's get back to some actual talk then. I really just wanted to show that Crack Shack House is what it was. Because that place is the worst place
dude,
ever.
I don't think I've ever seen anything like that house.
No,
I've seen a
like
lot of fucking
that
house.
is the worst apartment I have ever seen in my entire life. And I've seen some bad places when I was looking in Columbus, man. Because there is some ghetto ass hellholes in that fucking place.
I guess one thing you can say about it is the fixer upper.
Or a hang upside downer. But anyway. So yeah, we had the phone outage today from AT&T where they were talking about not even being able to call 911 with your AT&T service and stuff.
No,
So that was pretty wild.
Mine, because I have AT&T, and mine, it said that it didn't belong to any network, and you could only make emergency calls only. Because every time I tried to make a phone call, it would pop up that message saying your phone doesn't belong to any network, and you can only make emergency phone calls. And it was out until around 12 o'clock.
Interesting. So Google pauses woke AI image generator, according to this story here with the Google Gemini garbage. The executive ranted, white privilege is fucking real, Masters of the Universe blunder company history. So, yeah, trying to make George Washington a fucking black Asian guy. The fuck? Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, says Google announces pausing the ultra woke Gemini AI image generator, saying the tool has created historical photos with clear inaccuracies. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It says we've already working on to address recent issues with Gemini's image generator feature. While we do this, we're going to pause the image generation of people and we'll re-release an improved version soon, Google claimed on Thursday in the Twitter/X page. So tech giant statement was an update from its Wednesday announcement, which was, we're aware that Gemini is offering inaccuracies in some historical image generation depictions. Yeah, like you won't even show Joan of Arc, you jackasses. It says we're working to improve these kinds of depictions immediately. Gemini AI generation does generate a wide range of people. Yeah, all non-white, by the way. And that's generally a good thing because people around the world use it. Like how they did an Indian couple where one was an actual Native American guy and the other one was a Indian woman from India with a dot and everything on her forehead.
Dang.
It's like, Jesus Christ. Fucking morons. Oh, here you go. Yeah, Founding Fathers of America, and it's literally fucking Native Americans and shit. Like black dudes. Like, what the fuck? This third one kind of looks like Obama a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like Obama's great granddaddy or something. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Yeah, let's see. It's Patrick Guessett asked Google Gemini to generate images of founding fathers. It seems to think George Washington was black. Yeah. I'm assuming this Asian guy is Ben Franklin.
Kind of looks like it.
And then I'm assuming the fake ass Obama would probably be Thomas Jefferson.
I can see that.
Yeah. I'm not sure who the Native American guy is supposed to be representing. Probably just the one tribe that was super savage before he came here, would be my guess. So, all right, let's see what T-Mobile's got going there. Sprint turned T-Mobile users have waited a day such as this. I'm guessing that'd be the AT&T blackouts and shit.
Yeah.
There, we're just gonna stop going after that then, because I don't know where that's gonna go, and I don't want to find out honestly.
So, yeah, right.
Because it could get real bad real quick. I've seen things like that pop from crazy to craziness. So,
and then boom, channel strike.
Yep. Or we describe the in detail the plot of a show, and we get a channel strike for that too. Apparently.
Yeah, I still can't believe that happened. Talking about a ridiculous fucking make-believe TV show, and you get a strike. Kind of like, someone we know that got a channel strike or got their video taken down live because of a toy gun.
Yeah. Or in the same case, somebody having their live stream yanked the other day because they were claiming that they were showing how to build firearms, even though they totally were not.
Exactly.
So, anyway. There we go. We got terror victims sue Associated Press over alleged link to October 7th attacks. Interesting. Then we got 3 Kentucky Fried Chicken restaurants flee Democrat-run Chicago.
Yeah, I saw that today.
Good for them. Let's see. Prosecutor, Chicago thief shoplifted 12 more times after his release via cashless bail. Geniuses, Democrats. Geniuses.
It's done on purpose.
Yep, AI.
Every bit of
AI erases white people from history. Woke joke. Images mercilessly mocked. As they should be. There we go. Cell phone outage hits AT&T nationwide. Verizon, T-Mobile also affected. Internet 9/11. So they're saying there. I was thinking about this actually, and was this actually a dry run by either the U.S. government or some kind of terror cell?
And see, that's what I was thinking too earlier. That this was
future.
A test run for the big one to come.
It would make sense, and it would actually, if you go to the fact of it being either or, if it was either hackers hacking into the system, or if it was even the government doing it themselves, that'd be the case. This would be similar to what they did in, I believe it was 2013 or 14 under Obama's administration, where they cut off the EBT system for 4 or 5 days is what it was there, to see how quick people would freak out. And of course you had a bunch of people that were minorities on the system there that figured out they had no money in their cards, but that they could still go, shop and basically just steal everything is what it was then. And that's what they were doing. And you had multiple people walk through a fucking line knowing they had 10 cents on their card or $1 or $2, whatever it was left there, swiping their card, be like, oh, we can't take your card. Okay, well, we're taking the shit anyway. And they just walked out with everything is what it was then. And then when the system finally came back on and people were like, well, I know I can't pay for this shit. And they just left tens of thousands of dollars of ice cream to melt and frozen food to expire and have to be tossed because it was out of the frozen food section forever. And yeah, it was just disgusting. It was multiple Walmarts like that had to toss out I think it was $30,000 or $40,000 per store or something like that worth of stuff. That was all various groceries and meats and frozen things and whatnot. So it's absolutely disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
And just coming in as of about a minute ago, we had
that would be a perfect thing for them to do because
the internet and social media is the modern day, like
Town
the
Square.
water cooler, the water cooler, and so if they stop phones and internet, we have no way to communicate, no way to quote unquote gather in mass and discuss whatever you want. It could be something inconspicuous as just like we do, like Guns and Geek or the Geek Podcast and stuff like that. It alleviates that, so there's no quote unquote militia, I guess.
Yeah.
Or militia-esque.
Yeah. But anyway, breaking news alert as of about 1 minute ago. Constitutional carry passes Louisiana Senate, now heads to Louisiana State House.
Damn.
So constitutional carry legislation, Senate Bill 1, passed Louisiana Senate on Thursday and will now be taken up in the Louisiana House. Local news affiliates report that the Louisiana Senate vote was along party lines, with 28 Republicans voting for it, and 10 of 11 Democrats voting against it, because of course they do, because they're fucking scumbag, pedophile pieces of shit. We've talked about this multiple times. There's actually one I want to bring up here in a little bit too as well, is the child molesters in the Colorado State Senate and State House there. But yeah, it said the 11th Democrat, State Senator Jay Lewin, was not present to vote one way or another, which was either by design, so he could be like, well, I'm not on the record for doing anything here, or it very possibly could be the fact that he just didn't give a shit either way, and obviously would have voted with party lines what it is then.
Right.
Said Breitbart News noted that the Senate Bill 1 passed in the Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday on a 6-1 vote. The solitary no vote against constitutional carry came from State Senator Regina Burrow, who is also a Democrat. New governor Jeff Landry, Republican, who used to be their Secretary of State, and said he would definitely vote this through and sign it through to become law, has made clear that he will sign Senate Bill 1 if it makes its way to his desk. There are already currently 28 constitutional carry states in America, from Alabama to Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New Hampshire, North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Vermont, West Virginia, and Wyoming. So yeah, we will have 29 then when this becomes law then.
So we'll have 28 then.
No. It's 29. Because technically Florida is not constitutional. It's whatever their version is, but it'd be 28 and a half, I guess is what you call it then.
No, because Iowa doesn't exist.
Okay. This isn't NEA's chat, man. We don't fuck like that. What we do fuck, though, is fuck Tiffany Henyard. This woman is the biggest fucking cunt piece of shit, ghetto-ass hoe bag mayor I've ever seen in my entire life. And the FBI is finally probing her fucking cunt ass, which they should just be arresting her out of office right now for random embezzlement, RICO Act, other stuff for money laundering, etc. there, because she's stolen like $6 million from this fucking town in Illinois.
Yep. And she shut down businesses that didn't pay to her campaign.
Yeah, exactly. And she was literally dressed as fucking New Jack City character Wesley Snipes at the time. Had the exact same outfit on. Yes, FBI officials are reportedly investigating allegations against Dalton, Illinois Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who recently spoke with Democrat Joe Biden. Said Henyard apparently shared a few moments with Biden at the White House on January 19th when officials met for the U.S. Conference of Mayors. As the video footage posted to Henyard's Instagram account on February 8th shows her talking with Biden. Later in the clip, Henyard films herself standing in front of the presidential podium and also waiting for Biden's dumbass to arrive. What a fucking idiot, dude. As Henyard enjoys a combined salary of over $300,000, she is also considered the Thornton Township supervisor, which is such a fucking stupid ass thing. You should never have both those things be both mayor and supervisor thing. So Fox News article said, adding that she also uses beauty vouchers, even though her townspeople have a median income of $24,000 a year. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Yeah, I cannot stand the fucking smirk on this cunt's face. Like, she was basically talking to some reporter guy about, like, basically not stealing from the town there is what it was. And then he's asking her about her Vegas trip. Yeah, he's like, you didn't go to Las Vegas? And she's like, yeah, I totally did. Fucking child with my hand caught in the damn cookie jar like a stupid little bitch.
Jesus.
Like, I am honestly shocked. The fact that Dalton, mind you, for those who don't know, Dalton, Illinois, I think it's like 85 or 95% black. Their entire city council is black. Mayor, obviously, here is black. I'm actually shocked that one of the fucking city councilmen hasn't just smoked her ass in the fucking random city council meeting. Like, just watching with a gun and just blowing her fucking brains out at this point, honestly. For the shit she's pulled against this city. Because that's how much of a piece of shit she actually is, dude. And then, yeah, she went on this whole, like, of course, she tried to play the fucking race card a couple weeks ago is what it was. Like, going on this whole fucking bunch of bullshit. Like, here, like, I'm black, y'all black. You shit fucking with a black woman. All this other stupid bullshit. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, you're a fucking clown ass. You're literally the biggest ghetto fucking piece of shit mayor ever. You're exactly what Biden talked about in the 1980s, ironically, about the big shots. And you want, and then you obviously, she wants to also be like, I'm the first African American female. Yet has like, I figure it's like $100,000 fucking armed security team everywhere. Yeah, there she go on her like, y'all black. You should be standing behind me because I'm black too. And they're just like, show us the fucking paperwork where all the damn charges went to, Tiffany. Yeah, so February, Henry grew heated with fellow leaders who questioned her regarding issues that brought heavy criticism. So this video footage shows the meeting with Henyard speaking to fellow officials. She said, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all are sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that is in power. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, lady. So it's Fox News article. Fox News article. A U-Haul rental and trucking business owner in Dalton apparently contacted the FBI because the village refused to renew his business license. So the man identified as Lawrence Gardner, quote, claims he has suffered from harassment, raids on his business, and being shut down by Dalton cops. Said Gardner believes it's retaliation after he refused to donate to a civic event sponsored by Henyard's ass. And mind you, not only did this woman embezzle a ton of money, not only did she do obviously money laundering here, she is actively not paying the bills for the city to where a bunch of the cop cars are going to get repossessed now that are under lease. And on top of all that, during one of these city meetings recently, she actually held people prisoner because she said it was going to be down here in like some place or whatever the case be, and then like shut and locked the door behind him is what it was. So really, it was like false imprisonment and a bunch of other stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, how is she not in prison right now is my question. It's just insane. It's insane.
Why is the IRS not investigating her too?
That's what I don't get either. And it's like, bro, like she should be seriously looking at like 50 to 75 federal felonies, a shitload of different RICO Act ones. And it's so psychotic. And I guarantee it's because of race. That's exactly why they haven't taken her out yet, is what it is.
Oh, if it was a white person that was doing all this, they would be, very.
If it was a white Democrat for that matter, they would at least fucking throw him on the chopping block if that be the case. Then, but yeah, it says Gardner said that guy that was talking about the Gardner guy said he was presented every document he had to show the FBI what was happening in court in this area. The agents reportedly told him that they were looking into the matter and took the allegation seriously. It said Gardner is one of 6 individuals who have reportedly spoken to the FBI about Henyard's conduct, including other business owners, a former village employee, and 1 or more public officials. So in 2021, trustees in Dalton were shocked when Henyard hired 46-year-old LaVille Redman as a code enforcement officer who inspects homes and businesses, because Redman is a convicted child sex offender and is listed on the Illinois State Police Child Sex Offender Registry. So she's a little pedophile, is what it is, or pedophile enabler anyway, at minimum. So yeah,
that's disgusting.
This is the Democrat Party in a nutshell, people. Seriously,
it's not being said here. This shit must be so fucking bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the FBI is now finally stepping in.
Yeah.
because.
Well, I would hope so. When she's embezzled at least $6 million from the town.
Well, what I'm getting at is, in the current climate, basically, black people can't do no wrong.
Yeah.
At least that's how it's being portrayed. And the FBI is stepping in to quote unquote investigate, which we don't know if they really are or not. It could be just a sham investigation. But shit must be really fucking bad for that to happen and it to make news.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's a lot more shit going on that they're not telling us because of that. Because it's so bad.
All right. So we're about to get into sort of some supernatural stuff here in a minute. As soon as I'm able to pull up these articles real quick. Well, it's not really articles. It's actually X stories is what it is there on Twitter/X. That are about Colorado and things like that.
Smoke and mirrors.
And then, of course, we got, one of the ones I'm going to talk about is this guy right here, actually, because this goes back to what I've been saying for years now about why we need a tax revolt in this nation, which is you had this dude here recently, which was in the last, I think, 24 hours or so. He went on a whole tirade about, shit. Don't put my thing up here. Where's that? Damn it. Okay, that was the one. Oh, here we are. Okay. Sorry, had multiple stories I had to pull there. Yeah, it was American taxpayer says he's done following the laws in America. How long before all Americans feel this way? This guy right here was saying, if Biden and the people who are at the top, Alejandro Mayorkas, etc., are all of these scumbags, if they can't follow the laws, then we the people shouldn't be expected to follow laws either. So that was a little reluctant to make the video, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think it might resonate with a lot of people out there. So a lot of Americans feeling the same way, and that is, I've decided, ladies and gentlemen, that I am no longer going to follow the laws of the United States of America. Not me, this guy here, he's saying there. Said, why are we expected to obey any laws when right in here behind this dude, there was wide open southern border. Biden doesn't even follow the laws, and he has left the border wide open for 3.5 years. We have at least 15 million criminals now in our country, thanks to dipshit Biden. So the Biden and the people who are at the top can't follow laws. The American people shouldn't either. So
at least 2 million of those are terrorists. Yeah,
and they're coming out every day too, is what it is, man. Yeah, and I don't disagree with this guy's saying, man. Like, honestly, like, this is what we need more of, and it's like, it's just means to be mass non-compliance across the border now, dude. Like, especially, and the thing is, too, about laws, it's like, the problem is there are so many laws on our books right now, especially anti-gun laws, that are completely unconstitutional and unjust.
Yep.
They should never be followed, ever, because they're completely illegal and unconstitutional. They should be looked at as if they were written under the Marbury versus Madison decision of 1803 is what it is. So it's as simple as that, really.
My thing is, if it gets to that point where, more and more people, start thinking that way, like that gentleman, and, saying the stuff that gentleman was saying, how long until Biden actually goes through with his threat about sending, the military in and F-16s and shit?
I don't know.
He was talking about sending that shit to Texas because Texas is quote unquote an open defiance.
Yeah. I don't know, it's hard to say.
Because Texas is trying to secure the border and the government's pissed about it.
Yeah, it's hard to say, man. Like, it's gonna pop off, I think, definitely, depending on how long we go right now. And I think it's gonna get worse and worse right now.
Yeah, I think that's why we're seeing the cell phone outages, because it's a test run to see, what they can do to knock them all down at once.
And I think it was who was it? Tactical Muffin Top said this recently to us about how we are so spread out anyway right now. Even if we wanted to do some kind of pushback against government right now, we couldn't do it because we're all in different states. Is what it is right now.
Yeah.
which brings me to my point right here about Colorado, going back to the Henyard thing and registered sex offenders and stuff like that. Colorado Representative Scott Bottoms, who's a Republican, confirms that people are buying 1 to 5-year-old children to fuck them. He says, quote, almost all the time they get off on probation after buying a kid and molesting that child. Said, quote, these are the times that I am discouraged about my job as a state representative and also what happens here in the capital of Colorado. So we sit in the committee all day discussing whether or not somebody that buys kids between the ages of 2, 3, 4, and 5 buys them for sex. We put through bills. One of the bills was recently by a guy named Brady, sent one through that was just put these buyers in jail. He said right now, most of the time they get off with probation. Almost all the time they get off on probation after buying a kid for sex. So we tried to say, well, they need to at least serve a minimum of 4 years in prison. And then we sit here and have to be listened to by Democrats fighting against this bills, fighting against putting these sex offenders in prison, and came up with all kinds of reasons, including that the buyers are victims themselves. Like, what the
Jesus
fuck,
Christ.
man?
Those fucking people need to be hung in the street.
Like, again, and mind you, this is the majority party in the state of Colorado. This is the same fucking piece of shit Democrat party who are actively trying to take away Honda and everybody else's guns in the state of Colorado. Who are sitting there trying to make assault weapons bans a thing. Who are trying to now put, 3 or 4 day waiting periods into place. They have done that already, is what it is there. They're trying to put through other bullshit for fucking, they've already done red flags in that state. They've done fucking universal background checks in that state now. It's all kinds of unconstitutional shit entirely, man.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, at minimum, they are enabling child molesters to rape fucking toddlers, for God's sakes.
To the wall. To the motherfucking wall. They bring back public hangings because this motherfucker needs to be hung in the streets.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Bottom's continuing. I said this is very discouraging. These people were fighting against this. So it's also very discouraging for me, or very disgusting for me, that they would actually defend these people, and then they voted completely along party lines against the bills. So Democrats voted 100%. They did not want to put these pedophiles in prison. They defended the child molesters. This is why it is so difficult sometimes to do what you do around Colorado. We know we're on the side of the right. So he said, we know we're on the side of the morality and we got shot down, but I do not understand the thought process behind this. We do get shot down. This is why I would encourage you to do a few things to help state of Colorado there. He said, first, if you believe in a prayer at all, please pray. We are fighting truly dark forces here. This is not okay. Evil stuff we are dealing with. If you have the ability to come up and testify on bills in Colorado or anything like that, please do so. Voice is important, needs to be heard. Yeah, it's just fucked up, man. Like, this is one of the few good guys. This is Scott Bottoms, a Republican state rep there in Colorado, who's actually fighting to put child molesters in prison where they belong. And yet this guy is the minority party in that state. It's fucking sad, man. And then we also got, I'm not sure if this is also out of Colorado or not, because I saw this in the same.
It sounds like all patriots in Colorado need to fucking band together and put an end to this shit and say, something kind of like the last guy about not following these unconstitutional laws and, you're trying to restrict our rights, freedoms, but yet you are condoning pedophilia.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this was also in Colorado or if this is in South Carolina or where this was at, because it says Greenville County. I think that's South Carolina. But here it said 45 people arrested for being child predators, prostitutes, human traffickers, child traffickers, and wanting to eat children. Yes, cannibalize kids.
That's sick, dude.
Said sheriff told us about a man who he said wanted to eat a child. Said eat her as in cannibalize her. And that was just one of the shocking details we heard in the press conference, said Justin Biesing, who wanted an underage girl as a sex slave, got probation. Said, quote, a gentleman wanted a person brought to him so he could eat them, physically cannibalize them. That was Justin Teeter Biesing, who also, according to the warrant, planned to kidnap a child and make her drink. Never mind. I can't even go on with that one. You can read what it says right there yourself. It's fucking disgusting. Said,
100%.
quote, you want to talk about the depravity of humanity? Look at these people. So that's the problem right now. You're sitting there still calling these people human when they're not. You have left into the level of demonic and demonism at that point. These are fucking demons. We are fighting demons on Earth at this point.
We are literally in a battle of good and evil right now.
Yes. So this guy, I said that Justin guy in general took erectile dysfunction pills before he got there. And then he injected himself with testosterone into his nutsack, all while thinking he was going to meet a 14-year-old girl like many of the people who got knocked at the door. So during the course of the investigation, a lot of people admitted that they knowingly had sexual transmitted diseases and they were willing to have sex with a 14-year-old girl at the time. Fucking disgusting, dude. Oh my god. And this was yesterday, by the way. This particular thing came out. So, and then here's an interesting one that somebody talked about with the codes that pedophiles like to use to communicate and stuff like that, and all the different like slanging stuff for the whole Pizzagate thing is what it is there. Which, by the way, the person that claimed to debunk that was actually a child molester who did not debunk jack shit, by the way. I want to point that one out.
Yeah. Again, public hangings.
Yeah. And there's this Robbie Starbuck guy saying there's a war on kids. Yes, there is, and that's the problem right now. And again, it goes back to the whole trans thing too, for that matter. It's why they're trying to push the transgenderism on these children, and why they're trying to push lifetime patients into pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that, because they know if they can hook a kid and get them confused as shit when they're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, that by the time they're 14 or 15, they are so hoodwinked and so screwed that there's no coming back from anything. And if they can get them to have if it's a young girl, they can get them to have double mastectomy by then, guess what? They're fucked then. They're in constant chest pain their entire lives after that. You got a guy who they get him to go on HRT drugs and stuff like that, and if he goes through male puberty, now his fucking junk is never big enough to actually even do the fucking proper surgeries, just like Jazz Jennings was. So, yeah, it's just real sick shit. I did like when it came to this thing, though, the one response that somebody put up here, which was a picture of Red Foreman saying, "Dead pedophiles don't reoffend. Change my mind."
That's true.
Yeah, and it is true, and it sickens me in my core, man, because it's like, yeah, you got these fucking people, and I think if I'm not mistaken, this was actually this picture here was the piece of shit that wanted to cannibalize a kid right here. This sick fuck right here. So,
speaking of rapists and shit,
absolutely, this is the guy.
Did you hear about
fucking garbage right here?
Danny Masterson?
Did he get shanked in the showers in prison?
No, but he got his ass beat, and they had to transfer him to a medium to light security prison.
Yeah,
he was scared to death to come out of his cell. Wasn't eating, not going to get shower or anything, and
I don't blame him for that one.
He found out that there was a hit put out on him by a couple of the gangs in prison.
Yep.
I didn't know he got life in prison either.
Yeah,
I knew he got
prison
sentence, but I didn't know it was life. But yeah, they had to move him to. They almost it made it sound like it was more like a country club for famous people or some shit. I don't know.
Okay, but that 45 arrests of people, that was in South Carolina.
Wasn't.
Yeah. Okay. So here, I actually just found the article here for the actual, because they got mugshots of these people too, by the way, and what they were charged with and whatnot. So We got this woman here that was a prostitute. And then we got another prostitute, probably. Looks like another female prostitute. Probably a pimp. That woman looks like she could be both, actually. That dude obviously is a John. Another creepy looking John. Another creepy looking John. Another creeper. Creeper. Probably another prostitute. Bunch of fucking creeps across the board. Here's what it is. That dude looks like a fucking nut. And this is the piece of shit that wanted that 14-year-old girl. Yeah, just a bunch of pieces of shit in general. Oh, the worst drogues of humanity for sure. But yeah, it said 31 individuals identified in connection with the operation are still being sought. So they're still out there. They're looking for your kids, said the sheriff. This was a target and identify sex predators preying on the youth of our communities. So Lewis said the circumstances of each case were painful to learn. It said one case, a man carrying a sexually transmitted disease was specifically looking to transfer that disease to a 14-year-old child. Said he wanted to ruin a child's life. He wanted to actually give a child a disease. I'm assuming that when they say STD, they probably mean AIDS or HIV or something, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Something terrible like that. Maybe Hep C, even for that matter. Or Hep B or whatever. One of those hepatitis ones. So another case involved a suspect who wanted to cannibalize the victim. Let's see. I know it was saying something about the charges. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so below is listed the charges in Operation Milestone is what they called this one. You got this first person being charged with prostitution. You got Austin James something or other being charged with prostitution. Betsy Woman is charged with driving under suspicion and as a habitual offender. Dude named Billy Lynch was charged with sexual exploitation of a minor in the first degree, attempted criminal sexual conduct with a minor or attempt, a victim 11 to 14 years of age, inclusive second degree, and criminal solicitation of a minor. Casey Nicole Brooks was a prostitute. I think that was the blonde woman on there, maybe. Courtney Michelle Barnes is charged with possession of intent to distribute heroin. Got this person from Texas is charged with criminal sexual conduct of a minor or attempt to victimize a kid between 11 to 14 years old. One of the black folks on there is charged with simple possession of marijuana and prostitution. Another one is charged with prostitution. Let's see, unlawful dissemination of obscene material to a minor under the age of 18, and 2 counts of criminal solicitation of a minor was one of these guys on here. And I'm assuming that person was probably sending dick pics to minors is my guess on that one, because that's usually what that first charge would be then. So he basically sent at least 2 dick pics to a kid under the age of 14, and then obviously was charged with trying to meet that kid and fuck him. So, see, more prostitution, criminal solicitation of minor, prostitution, criminal charge minor solicitation. Let's see, a guy from California charged with prostitution, or no, maybe a girl from California charged with prostitution. A dude charged with prostitution. Another guy charged with prostitution. Yeah, it looks like a lot of it's either a lot of prostitution or soliciting of minors and stuff like that. And there's a couple marijuana charges in here too, for that matter. So, yeah, just a bunch of, like I said, just literally the fucking scum of the earth of these people, man. Like, all the way across the fucking board. This was the guy who was charged with sending dick pics to kids and then trying to meet them for sex. So, yeah, just truly, truly sick, disgusting animals, dude. Truly, truly super predators all the way across the board. This guy looks like he's a fucking serial killer in the making right here, honestly. That woman looks like she's just a sad sack in general. Like, she looks like she's actually crying tears because she's having to finally be taken out of a prostitute life is what it is, because she was probably trafficked as a kid, is my guess, honestly. So at least there's going to be good stories like this where they're probably going to get help that they actually need to get out of the damn life is what it is, and get away from these sick, disgusting ass pimps that were prostituting them out. That woman's definitely been on some hardcore meth her entire life, or at least the last 10 years of her life anyway. Probably to escape the reality of having to be fucking prostituted out for years of her life. That woman's got a scowl on her face. Oof, man. That was a bad one. This guy looks like the kind of motherfucker that just wants a handy in the fucking car or something, honestly. That guy looks like a fucking psycho. That dude looks like a serial creep. Same thing with this guy right here. This chick looks like the kind of woman who'd actually pull a blade on you when you're like mid-sex. So, same thing with that one. Yeah, just a bunch of, like I said, just a bunch of pieces of shit across the board, man. Especially this sick fuck right here. So, anyway.
Yeah, that shit fucking just makes me have unchristian like thoughts, because it's like those fucking people need to be turned into a pile of ash.
Yep.
They should not be allowed to walk this earth and breathe this air anymore.
No, they shouldn't be. It's just absolutely, just truly disgusting.
Yep.
And then, of course, you got a bunch of people just saying fire up the wood chippers. So I thought this one was interesting. I don't know how true this actually is. I'm assuming it probably is pretty much on par, though. Which is, it claims fact, 800,000 children disappear every year in the United States, 1 every 40 seconds. If you believe this is fake news, you are part of the problem. Pizzagate is 100% real. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by it. And that's the thing, right? Like, I remember I used to go to Walmart a lot when Mom was still around, and we would, like, every time we were over there, I would always go up to, like, where the bathrooms are at, because they would always have, like, one of those boards of, like, missing people and stuff. And I can't tell you how many kids under the age of, like, 21 were always missing from there, man. Well, like, it was anywhere from like 10 to 17, basically, in most cases, and it was just everywhere, man.
And not only that, all the videos and shit coming out where a lot of these hotels and Airbnbs and different shit, mainly hotels, have these secret passageways.
Yeah, that's some creepy shit.
Lead it into the room through like a closet or something. It's an underground tunnel system where because they found a kid in one of them here a while back, that the kid was missing. No one could find him. And then someone discovered the secret passageway, and they found the kid in one of the tunnels, just waiting to be, I guess, taken somewhere else. I don't know.
Moments before penicillin was introduced.
Yeah, that was
the 1D no scope.
Yep.
For those wondering what I mean by penicillin, let me go find it up here real quick. Here is a prescription for penicillin right there. So, which is exactly what good old Gary Pluchet used on Jeffrey Doucette, the man who raped his son.
Yep, the only thing that cures pedophilia.
Yep. Yes, it does.
You know, someone needs to put that in one of the AI generated things and have them generate like a promotional video for, you know, how like when they come out with new medicines and stuff, they do an ad on TV and whatnot. They need to do an ad for penicillin.
Yeah. Yeah. But the crazy fact is, though, like, you look at this Operation Milestone that they were using here, or Millstone, and it was this happens every single day, man. Like, every single state in this country, especially on the East Coast here. I know Ohio is actually one of the bigger hubs for human trafficking in this country, unfortunately. And it's because of the way that our system is. You can basically go to any major city in the state right now, from Columbus, Cincinnati to Cleveland, and you're on the highway within like 5 to 10 minutes, honestly. and we just are a giant highway network of a state, basically, and you can be out of this state in a couple of hours with a kid if you wanted to be, if even that long. It's depending on where exactly you're sitting at. It might be like 45 minutes, honestly, and you're in another state, basically. It's very disturbing. And what's even more disgusting is that you have, like, one thing I will say about Ohio is at least Dave Yost, our current attorney general, is doing something, which he has actively, his entire time as AG, has been using that office to continue to do operations to save kids from sex trafficking, save women that are being trafficked, and deal with human traffickers in this country. And it's not something a lot of people have done before him, unfortunately. DeWine did a little bit when he was Attorney General back in the day, like 10-something years ago now. But even that, he didn't go far enough. And Yost has definitely picked up the ball and just ran with it like crazy, and has taken down more traffickers in this state than most have done in any other state for that matter.
Good.
So, and that being said, the reason I say that obviously is because Dave Yost is probably going to run for governor in 2 years. And obviously I'm also planning on running then if we're still a functioning country. That being said, would I cut a deal with him to become his lieutenant governor? Yes, I would, actually. And that's the only guy I actually would back legitimately on that. I know for a fact that would be in that race right now, because I believe in his continued thing. I know I always talk about career politicians being a problem, because they are in many cases, but Yost is one of the few that actually seems to give a fuck is what it is right now. And maybe it's because he wants to seek higher office. Who knows? But at least comparing him to Frank LaRose as the Secretary of State of this state right now, though, LaRose is a fucking idiot who's done nothing for Ohio in 6-something years now as Secretary of State and trying to run for literal U.S. Senate right now. Meanwhile, Yost has actually done things for the state in the last 6-something years now, and continues to do things every single day. It seems like, whether it be, hell, it was even his office that was the one that made up that it was the year before constitutional carry became a thing in this state, and it's the year since then. And it was 2021, the crime rate, 2022 when it passed, and then into 2023. And you can see the crime rate falling because of constitutional carry passing in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, I bet they've been trying to bury that fucking fact. Holy shit, that fucker's flying low.
You got the choppers overhead.
It's a Chinook.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know there's been a bunch of helicopter activity recently in a lot of areas around here too. Like, people don't know if it's what's going on with it too. It could be the power outage thing too for that matter.
Shit, that fucker was low though. I could like see the landing gear.
Yeah.
You know, if I'd have saw it coming more, I probably could have seen the fucking pilot.
I was actually watching one recently. There's a channel here on YouTube called What Lurks Beneath. He's got quite a few subscribers there, like 100,000 plus, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
He does a lot of supernatural stuff. That's why I titled the chat Supernatural Encounters, so what it is there. And I was watching a lot of his stuff here recently. And dude, I'll tell you what, I was watching one this morning. The guy he was talking to is actually from Youngstown. And he was talking about his own encounter with, he wasn't sure what it was, if it was some kind of a like shadow person, or if it was what they call the dog man, or what it was. But this happened back in, I believe it was 1987 or 88. So I was like 2 or 3 years old at the time. And it was him and he was 14, and it was him and his friends hanging out in downtown Youngstown, where the steel mills and stuff used to be. And it was late at night there. They had started a bonfire in this like abandoned steel mills, what it was basically. And there was always wild packs of dogs down there. So these kids, 13, 14 years old is what it was, were carrying different handguns that they shouldn't have been, obviously, but they were still armed is what it was, though, just because, you got, at the time you had like mafia down there. You had a bunch of people disposing of bodies that were mafiosos, and gangs for that matter were disposing of bodies too down in that area. Packs of wild dogs that would attack you because they were so violent and not fearful of people and stuff like that. And yeah, it's a really interesting story. I would suggest watching the entirety of the things. It's like an hour long, because he goes into like, for about the first half hour, so he's just explaining his story from like start to finish. And it's him discussing how him and his friends basically saw this pack of wild dogs, thought that they were attacking each other, And it turned out this like wolf man or dog man or werewolf, whatever the hell it was, apparently was taking out these dogs and then proceeded to see them and sort of come for them. And it was only by possible divine intervention that they did not die that night. So, yeah, it's pretty wild shit, man. And then he was saying about having, like, I guess he has some kind of dream that he thinks the thing's coming back for him now or something, and he thought it was super real. So I was like, I don't know if this guy was lucid dreaming or if he was having cognitive dreaming visions or what it was, but yeah, like it was some crazy shit though. And it's like, and I'll tell you right now, dude, I personally have seen shit in this state myself. I went outside some years back now is what it was. Probably about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago now. I was out back with my brother about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night one time. And I shit you not, because we have a backfield area there, about 5 acres in the backfield there. And I swear to God, there was a UFO back there. Like I could see the fucking saucer like going around and the lights and shit on it. And so could he. And I mentioned something about I'm going to go inside and grab something. I came back out with a flashlight and he's like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I'm going to SOS this motherfucker and see if it, signals back to us or not. And he's like, don't do that. And I swear to God, like it was like 11 o'clock or so. And I, did that for a second or whatever it was. And the next time I looked at my watch, it was like 2:30 in the morning. And we were still standing there. So I don't know if we were abducted and we have missing time or what it is, but I would love to have somebody put me under hypnosis and see if I don't have missing time there and like a experience with aliens, honestly, because I wouldn't be surprised if I did, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's not the only time that's happened either. Like I've seen UFOs when I was a kid down here too. My old neighbor, he was talking about when he was growing up in his parents' farmhouse area around here. He would see saucers around there too. And, they might be US military stuff, like craft that we've taken and like redone and, recrafted into our own, I think it's, I forget what they call them. It's like EVAs or something like that. Like whatever our thing is what it is that we've made here out of alien tech is what it would be then for US military use. That's not being told general public is what it is there. And it could just be that stuff, honestly, but I don't know. There's like a lot of activity. And then of course we got the Ohio Grassman, which is like our version of fucking Bigfoot, which one of my friends growing up in, I went to went to middle school with him and high school with him too as well. He was telling me when he was like 12 or 13, he was out hunting with his uncle and it was really early in the morning and he heard something going around his deer stand that he was in the tree and then ended up dropping down to like figure out what it was because he thought he'd shot something and then didn't hear anything and then heard something coming back. And I guess this tree was like one of the bigger trees that you had like a hole in it where you could basically like stand inside of it because it was kind of rotted out or whatever. And he like basically hid in that for like an hour while this thing was like circling the fucking tree lines and stuff. So he wasn't sure if it was a Yeti or a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch or Ohio Grassman or whatever the fuck it was then. But yeah, it's some real creepy shit though, man.
Well, wouldn't those things be able to climb trees or knock that tree down?
Well, he was actually hidden in the stump of the tree is what it was at the time, or like the actual like how some trees have that like little nook in them or whatever, where it like kind of hollows out over time because it's like rotting away or whatever.
Yeah, kind of
like he was able to like
um,
squeeze himself into that, and he was hidden in that for like an hour.
kind of like Carl and Enid did in The Walking Dead.
Exactly, it's something exactly like that. And yeah, it was just he was telling me this in one day in school, and he was freaking. He was almost in tears, dude. He was freaking the fuck out. And mind you, he's a big dude, and he's a cop now, actually, in this area, as well as I believe it was an EM. He was either an EMT or a volunteer firefighter at one point as well. So, but yeah, he's a good dude. And I believed him obviously because why would he lie about that kind of stuff? And like I said, I personally have seen like weird shit around my own property, like just at night, like random things that like dart off into the darkness that are like clearly not deer or coyotes or anything else like that. It's like obviously something else. So yeah, it's just some real creepy shit, man. And I think people need to be a lot more open when it comes to not only that, yes, there are things among us. Just because you haven't seen them doesn't mean that they're not real. and also the fact that if you do have experiences, bro, it's 2024. There is enough evidence out there of random ass creatures in the fucking darkness that I'm sure other people have had some similar experiences. Come out and talk about your story is what it is. Like, in fact, I would love to start a series on this channel to start having people come on and talk about the supernatural experiences, because I think we're seeing more and more stuff, and I think we're very close to UFO disclosure in this country right now, from the government finally being like, we can't hide this shit anymore. And if they're willing to disclose, alien activity on Earth, what are they still hiding? Especially when there is evidence. This is another one of those things I was watching on What Lurks Beneath Guy's channel today, which is one of the whistleblowers early on in the 70s or 80s was actually talking about how at that time there were potentially 11 different 11 different alien species on Earth right now, from the heavens, the stars, whatever you call it, other galaxies, etc. there, who have landed on Earth, were either here for decades hiding or whatever the case be. 7 of the 11 are benevolent, or how to pronounce that word, basically peaceful. And the other 4 are really actually angry and want to destroy this country and this Earth, etc., and humanity for that matter. And who's to say that they're not hiding under skin masks at this point? Who's to say it's not people that are actual alien species that are pretending to be Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or fucking any Democrat or Republican in power right now, honestly, in the United States of America? Like, it would make a lot of sense, honestly. Like, people always make fun of like the Simpsons predicting shit, but like, we haven't had that Kane Kodos moment yet, and I think it could be coming, man. It's like only a matter of time before you start yanking shit off, and it's just like some fucking one-eyed alien dude underneath the fucking mask or whatever.
It'd be hilarious if they were wearing masks and someone just yanked the bitches off on TV.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, and the thing is, even with like the mask technology too that we have right now, I think unfortunately a lot of how it's set up, you can't really just like pull it off. Like, it has to be like, it's almost like a process to like undo it and then like let it be cracked free. Basically, is what it is there, because it's like plastered in place or something like that. So yeah, it would take quite it would be like that the one scene from that one Austin Powers movie where he's like, "That's a man, baby," and he's just like yanking at some woman's hair a bunch of times and nothing's coming loose because she's actually a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it'd be something like that, but it wouldn't come loose because it's like so like put down in place with like various like lacquers and everything else like that. That's what it would be or whatever. So I don't know. It's crazy though to think about this kind of stuff and how much we don't know about our own Earth right now. Hell, how much we don't even know about our own sea right now, for God's sakes. We know more about supposedly the stars than we know about our own oceans. So when people sit there and say there's not mermaids in the fucking, ocean, it's like, you don't fucking know that, dude. There could easily be something hidden down way down in some trenches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I could totally see it being like that one series that that Freeform did some years ago, where I think it was called Siren or something, where it was the chicks were mermaids and then they would come out of the water and become humanists, like human-esque, but they weren't able to talk because they didn't understand like human language is what it was, until you actually started speaking with them for a while, and then they could finally like pick up and mimic your speech patterns and stuff like that. That's what it is then, and your language. But yeah, that was actually the one thing that does irritate me about that show, because actually to watch like the entire series of that show, and it totally ended on a cliffhanger. It should have got at least one more season because it was that good. And yeah, it was just very interesting though. And like I said, when you can have somebody come out of the water as, a fish creature, and then like 5 minutes later they now have human legs and look very human, like, that's some creepy shit, bro. And I've seen enough crazy motherfuckers on this earth that I've had interactions with and stuff like that look like they were dumb as fuck or whatever, where they could have just as easily been like some fucking mermaid that just became human like 10 minutes ago or something. So anyway, but
I guess anything could be possible. I mean,
yeah, I believe I am open to anything and everything at this point, honestly.
I'm not. I don't really believe in any of that stuff.
Well, and that's the thing. And I know you are a skeptic. I know Matt is a skeptic, and I know there's a couple other people in the group that are skeptical of, various supernatural entities, whatever the case be. And that is exactly why I would love to change your guys' minds, whether that be a bunch of us meeting up at the Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Kentucky, or whether that be you guys all coming here to Ohio and we go to Molly Stark, that's like about 15 minutes from my house right now. Because I know for a fact if I was able to talk to people that own that right now, I could definitely get us permission to go to that place, because it is technically condemned, so we have to sign waivers and stuff if we want to go in there and whatnot. But yeah, I guarantee I could get somebody to allow us to sign off on waivers and stuff like that to go in there and like do some kind of investigation or whatever the case be, and see if it actually is haunted or not. Then, and I would love to do that, honestly. I'd personally like to go to Waverly Hills just because I know it is like super, super haunted, where I know with Molly Stark it was semi-haunted as far as I understand, but I don't know how many ghosts are actually there to do anything. Or we could always just go to the Mansfield Reformatory that actually is open to the public, and I know for a fact there is ghost activity in that place because I've had friends that have been touched by dead inmates from that fucking place. So, yeah. And it is some creepy shit, man, for sure.
Be like going to Alcatraz.
Yeah, it's very similar. Very similar. Mansfield Reformatory was very much like that. It was a prison system in this state for, I believe, like 50 or 60 years. They had a lot of death penalty executions at that, but I believe it was gas chamber and electric chair both, actually, back in the day. And I guess those areas in that place are super fucking haunted, from what people have said. And if you go into those areas, like I think there's been people that have gone in like the gas chamber area or whatever, and they've started to like suffocate because they had like some ghost, like, basically like trying to possess their asses that was killed by gas chamber. So yeah, pretty wild shit for sure, man. And I think more and more, like, not only are we seeing the spiritual activity come forth, we're seeing demonic entities come forth, we're seeing supernatural entities come forth. And I think, honestly, like, from what people have been has been shown in the last like 5 or 10 years now, where you see all these various, what looks like it's portals or whatever for like aliens coming out or whatever. I think it might be parallel rips into our universe is what it is, from other universes, whether that be the people that are doing DMT trips and going into these alternate universes where they're seeing like orcs and little devils and gnomes and goblins and stuff like that, or whether it be like the other dimensions we don't even know about that we can't even see. Because, like, of course, I think we're fourth dimension we can see into or something, and maybe fifth actually, and there's supposed to be like 11 of them that we can't see into. Like, it's like another 6 or so we can't see into, 5, 6, 7, something like that.
Kind of like that movie with Michael Shannon. What was it, Midnight Special or Midnight?
No, I don't know.
It was Midnight something, basically, where him and his wife had this child that they took in. He ended up being taken by this cult because...
Yeah, Midnight Special 2016 sci-fi thriller.
It was actually a really good movie, but he was actually from an alternate dimension. Like, it was within our world, but you couldn't see it unless they wanted it to be seen. Mm-hmm. You couldn't touch it or anything. And then...
and that's another thing people are talking about with a lot of, like, Bigfoot sightings and, like, the Dogman sightings and stuff now, is you'll hear, like, these weird, like, clicks or, like, ticks or cracks or whatever, and they think it might be them coming through, like, some kind of a portal into our world, where it's, like, them being able to, like, go into, like, a shadow verse or something and then come into, like, Earth reality kind of thing is what it is there.
Kind of like the videos that came out of the Miami Mall.
Oh, yeah, that big-ass alien from a few months ago, where it was there, yeah.
Yeah, because there was one video where I saw where...
and that could have easily been a giant shadow person, honestly.
It looked like, how when Doctor Strange created the portal and how it came around, or like Terminator, how that big orb just appeared and then boom, they were there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They showed one of those happening or similar one happening in the Miami Mall, and you can see a couple male patrons there,
and that's another
slowly
thing too,
walk
for that
up
matter.
hesitantly, trying to figure out what the fuck that was, and they walked to where it was, and it was like nothing there.
And that's another thing too. Like we don't know, man. We don't know exactly what is what or who is where, or whatever the case be there.
I agree. We don't know.
And I think there is so much unexplained in our world right now that nobody really wants to talk about. Or if they do talk about it, people are like, "Oh, that person's insane," or whatever the case be. It's like, no, they're not. Like, just like the guy's story here in Youngstown, like that happened, 30 something years ago now. And like hearing this guy describe his own, almost attacked by like a werewolf or a dogman or whatever it was there. Like, bro, I could easily see that thing still existing here right now, especially when in that story, that's one thing I forgot to talk about what that dude's story was. The one buddy of his that was with him that night, that dude's father was basically the chief of police of that town, and essentially admitted to the kid after the fact, like, oh yeah, there's been things out here. We know what the fuck this thing actually was. It's attacked and killed at least a couple of the cops that were on our fucking out on patrol one night. And shut your fucking mouth about it. Like, that's basically what we told his kid. And so the same thing everybody else, like, keep your mouth shut about this, like, can't be talked about.
Why?
Who knows? Well, no, actually, no. I think he specifically said it to his son. The reason he didn't want him saying anything to his buddies or whatever was because he was afraid that more of them would go out, like more people from the town or more people from his like age range would go out there and like get themselves hurt or killed in the factory and stuff like that where they happen at.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be something like that, or it could just be, again, like if you don't want to, kid to get eaten, pretty much, like it would make sense that you wouldn't want to be a dick like that and be like, oh yeah, kids, go out there and get fucking eaten. Like, no, that'd be stupid. Like,
if there really is something, why don't they just get a bunch of the town folk together and go out there and hunt it down?
So that's the thing, is you're assuming that traditional bullets or whatever would actually work against these creatures.
Well, pull a Yankee and get some silver bullets.
And again, who's to even say silver will work against them? Could be a bunch of different things, honestly.
One way to find out, go out there and do it.
Yeah, but then again, you also are risking lives, and a lot of people don't want to be a hero, is what it is right now, I think. And unfortunately, the ones that do,
get a couple of them with a flamethrower.
Yeah. Because even what this guy was describing, he was basically saying how it was essentially very much like one of the Predators from Alien vs. Predator, or the Predator movies, where it could have like a cloaking device or whatever. So it could easily be something like that, where let's say 15, 20 people go out there and try to hunt the thing down, and then it's like, oh, it was right there, and now it's just gone. And it turns out
what I mean by
like
people, I mean like hundreds of people go out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's just, who knows, man. It's just, it's wild shit though, man, for sure. And like I said, it's definitely, it's a very entertaining story. Encounter, whatever you want to call it there. I think it's more encounters at this point, honestly. Like I said, with my own personal encounters with various supernatural stuff. I have had personal issues as well with that kind of stuff. Like, I know for a fact, like, some of that stuff has definitely affected me psychologically in a negative way. And I'm willing to freely admit that stuff right now, dude. Like, I have no problem with admitting that, because it needs to be discussed. It needs to be talked about. I think more people, like I said, need to come forward with their own stories. And if it becomes mainstream enough, you can't have people, whether that be governments, whether that be, police and military, whatever the case be, they can no longer cover up that shit if enough people come out and talk about it openly. Because then they would be like, oh no, that's not happening over here, over there, whatever the case be. And then it's like some of these ones, like the one I put in the stories for you and Duke on Mass Discord. That's in Kentucky someplace. It's called the Land Between the Lakes. That was what it is there.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that they don't want that place being outed for like a bunch of Sasquatch attacks and various Dogman attacks and stuff like that is what it is because they do fishing tournaments there every year, and the only way that entire place survives, that Grand Rivers, I think is what it's called, the only way that place survives is on tourist revenue. And if they had people going out there and being like, oh, you know, there's some crazy creatures out here, like all of a sudden your tourism would go to shit basically because nobody want to go out there and risk being eaten by a fucking Dogman or a Sasquatch or whatever the hell's out there is what it is then. So,
or it could bring in new people wanting to go out there and try to find pits.
And that's true too, but at the same time, it could also bring in new animals and prey for whatever is out there because, again, people always think humans are the top of the fucking food chain when we are not. There are definitely things out there that could easily murk us out if they wanted to. And when you talk about things that you're not even sure how to potentially kill, whether that be, you know, a Sasquatch or a Dogman or a werewolf or whatever the case be, or some creature thereof, it's pretty hard to sit there and be like, oh yeah, just go out here with natural, traditional ammunition and have a good time, basically.
Well, I think that's why the show Supernatural was created.
And that's one thing that guy even talked about in the guy from Youngstown talked about in the interview with this dude was how Hollywood is openly showing us different things right now and pieces of different things right now that they know are real, but they refuse to actually come out and freely admit that they are legit just because of the fact that they know if they did, there would be more people willing to come out and discuss their own stories and discuss their own issues. It's like the Alaska specifically was where they were talking about where you have those missing 411 people and stuff like that, where it's all these people that were like alien abducted or had like some kind of weird encounters and stuff like that. And yeah, like you can't sit there and tell me that when you have, you know, 5,000 people that have the exact same encounter or the exact same story or the exact same this or that or whatever the case be, that they're all lying about the same fucking thing. Like, it's not like it's mass hypnosis or something like that. Like, nah, at some point it gets for real, man. And I think that's the problem with a lot of people right now is that they want to sit there and, you know, push it off to the side and be like, oh, that's bullshit. It's like, no, it's not. It's 100% legit, 100% real. Just because that person doesn't want to believe in that thing, that creature, whatever it is, doesn't make it not real. So, yeah. Anyway.
It's crazy to even think about, and you know, like some of like the supernatural demon shit like that and possession. I don't believe in any of it. I mean, I believe in demons because I believe in hell and Satan, but just the thought of it, like the Ouija board, I know all that crap's fake, but just the thought of it freaks me out. Like it creeps me out, even though I don't believe in it. And it's just the thought of like, what if?
And I think that's what it is for a lot of people. They don't. They want to have some physical proof, but at the same time, they don't want to put, you know, all their eggs in the basket of, oh yeah, this is legit or whatever the case be. Because again, if they do, it kind of makes them think they're crazy. Where you're not crazy if you think about that stuff. Like, you're just on the level is what it is, dude. Like, you get it. You understand that, like, yeah, there's something more powerful than you out there. And I think that's what some people's thing is too, for that matter. Like, they think they're all encompassing. They think they're all powerful until they meet like real power that they can't get away from. And that's what freaks them the fuck out. And I don't disagree with that, honestly, because there is some freaky ass shit in our world. And I will straight up say that right now. And I've seen some of it. I've talked to other people that have seen some of it. And I'll tell you what, man, there are places, there are things that when shit goes off, the last place that I want to be is around these fucking creatures, around these fucking entities, whatever you want to call them. Because, oh man, like it is, oof, it's a bad deal. It's a bad deal all the way around. And unfortunately, I think you're seeing a lot more people being open and susceptible to this kind of stuff. At the same time, there are obviously people out there now even using AI to generate fucking fake imagery, which I guess one thing that you can tell the difference of between the AI and stuff like that right now is the metadata, like screen prints or whatever, that will actually show you like, oh yeah, this is actually bullshit. Like this person created this thing from this thing or that thing, whatever it was. And I guess there's a way to get around that though, which I'm not going to talk about right now because I don't feel like giving out that secret anyway that doesn't have it already.
Right.
Because there's
You
not
also don't
a
want to get
reason
channel deemed is the big thing.
to do that. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are just trying to make like fake shit out there or whatever. But at the same time, it's like there's enough real shit out there that is legit that can't be faked. That is, some dude with like a grainy ass cell phone because, the fucking local park ranger or whatever is like, you can't film out here, dude, or we're going to take your camera if you film out here because we're the fucking law and we're all hot shit and everything else like that. And it's like, you're nothing, dude. You're just a random fucking guy in the woods that has a fucking badge on your chest.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, but then we can also get into the talk of the ferals and our potential national parks. Like that one freaks me the fuck out. And that's exactly why I'll never walk into a national park in this country unless I am heavily fucking armed. Just because of that reason alone. Because I've seen enough creepy shit out of Hollywood that potentially could be real or at least like touching on reality. I've seen enough creepy shit in real life. I've seen enough freaky shit in major cities in this country that is unexplainable as well. And yeah, like I'm not down for it. I've never have been, I never will be. And anybody that sits there and says, oh yeah, you should totally go do this thing or that thing, I'm like, are you fucking high? Or are you just retarded? Like, which is it, man? Because both are a possibility. Both are really stupid things to do, obviously, if you're going to follow these things unarmed and stuff like that.
Right.
Or call them to you for that matter. Like, that's even worse, for God's sakes. Like, don't do that. Don't be that guy, because that's how you die.
Do you use Instagram at all?
I have in the past. I know I have an Instagram account. I don't know if I really, per se, have gone on the site that much, honestly, lately or not. I don't think I really have, but I have to go and look at my passwords and stuff like that. But yeah, there's definitely some crazy shit out there, though, for sure. And again, that makes sense exactly why they would be trying to take down our grid and stuff, too, for that matter, because it's not only a mass communication tool, but it's also, a way to find other people that may not be in your state or your even country, for that matter, that have seen similar things to what you've seen, honestly.
I just put something in the private chat.
Okay.
It's an account that I want you to check out on Instagram.
Okay.
And they go over all kinds of this shit. It's the whole thing is set up for, supernatural stuff, talking about skinwalkers, something they call flesh pedestrians, or
never heard that one.
Mimics, haunting, supernatural possessions, not really possessions, but like hauntings. There's a bunch of people that write into this person all the time. And she's always reading different stories. And I watch them sometimes just because the stories, are interesting and sound cool. And, some of them I think can be turned into like a mini series or an actually, episode by episode show. And I don't know, I think you might enjoy listening to some of them.
Yeah, this is the, so I can pull this up right now. Why does it not want to? Oh yeah, that's why. This is another tab on my fucking thing. Pull this up in another window right now. Okay, so let me grab that. Pull this up again. This is the YouTube channel I was talking about here, this What Lurks Beneath guy. This guy's really good. This is actually one of the few that I've seen that actually I do like, and I am subscribed to, obviously. And he seems to upload like every couple of days is what it is there. And he's done some really interesting ones there. Like usually it's like a half hour or so for a lot of these, and then he'll do other ones that are like an hour or two is what it is. I'm going to watch this one a little bit here. The fisherman reveals terrifying experience near the water. And yeah, there's some there like this one, like Skinwalkers is another one. Like all kinds of crazy shit out there, man. This is the one I was talking about here, the interview 4 months ago. This was the one from Youngstown, where he was talking to this Matthew guy. Like I said, it was him and his friends in the 80s that saw that shit, where it was some kind of crazy ass like cryptoid thing, and yeah, just wild shit, man, for sure. And you know, it's some crazy fucking shit, man. And like once you get past like certain things and you start to understand, like again, like we're not the only things on Earth. Like there's other stuff out here that was here way before us, that even, you know, the Native American tribes, like when white man came and settled this country, that they're just like, oh yeah, man, like don't go over here and gold prospect because you're gonna not be back to us ever. Like people need to stop fucking around is what it is, dude, and start paying attention. And like one of these guys was saying in one of those interviews, there's a reason why they call places like Devil's Asshole or like, you know, Satan's Cock or something like that is what it is. Or Satan's Kitchen or something like that. And it's like, yeah, it's because you're going to die in these places because they are like fucking legit hellholes in this nation. So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's wild stuff, man. And it's not to be fucked with. It's not to be trifled with. Supernatural in general, creatures, entities, whatever you want to call them there, should never be screwed with, just because, and especially like you were saying, Corey, about the Ouija board stuff. You could easily unlock something you're not supposed to, because a lot of these demons will sit there and pose as kids and shit.
Yeah.
And it's not good, man. Like don't fuck, like that's the one thing. I will not fuck with a Ouija board personally. And it's not because I don't believe it's real. I believe 100% you can contact spirits and stuff, but you don't know what you're actually bringing forward in those portals is what it is, though.
Mm-hmm.
And you could easily be bringing forward a demonic entity into your home is what it is. You know, there's a reason why before Mom died for decades in this house, I could actually turn my laptop around right now and show you. It's just sitting up there in the corner. In fact, I might just do that actually real quick if I can. Yeah, I'll try to do this right now. You guys can see right up there. There's a big old cross up there. And she's had that there since I was born. I don't know if it was something her mother had, or if it was something given to them when my mom and dad married, or what it was, but it's been sitting up there for decades. And it's been blessed by priests and stuff to keep this house safe. And as far as I'm aware, it has. But that doesn't mean that I haven't seen spiritual activity since, you know, both her and my uncle passed in the last couple of years. But of course, they'd be good spirits that would be allowed in this house because of it being a religious holy ground.
Right. I dropped a link in the back chat for you, so you can see the account and go through and watch.
Yeah, I think that woman also has a YouTube account called like Anti-Matrix or something.
Yeah, she does.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, she's not the best looking woman, but she's not bad.
Yeah, I was just.
There's a lot of them I've seen. There's a lot of the people I've seen over the years too. Like they are better storytellers, and again, they have the voice for radio and stuff like that. And I kind of wish I had that voice, but yeah, I don't. So I'm not gonna go on that. And the thing is too, I'm not gonna be like one of these bandwagon people that, you know, jumps on there and is like, I could make 100,000 subs by turning my channel into some supernatural thing or whatever. It's like, no, I'm not going to do that, dude, because I like to do politics, I like to do gun talk and whatnot, and it's a lot more relating to just everyday topics. And I figured we would talk about this stuff mostly because of the fact that for the last week or so, I've been watching that What Lurks Beneath Guy's channel and falling asleep in this chair quite a bit, actually, to this stuff, and waking up and be a little bit creeped out about it, actually. So I don't know if Corey just lost signal or what happened there, but anyway, I got some stuff I got to do here in a few minutes, though, so I think I'm going to call it a day because I'm pretty much done anyway right now, and I will be back tomorrow for another episode of Freedom Friday. Hopefully Corey can join us again, and we'll talk about whatever topics of the day that I don't even know anymore. Hopefully, if we get an update to what's going on with the AT&T cell phone outages today and stuff like that, maybe we can actually, discuss some things there with that. If it was a dry run, if it wasn't a dry run, if it was fucking government fuckery like some of us think it is what it is, or who knows what here and there and whatnot. So I don't know, man. It's all fucking nuts. They definitely want to fuck with us is what it is, though, unfortunately. And I believe, truthfully, more and more, our government's just a bunch of assholes in general, dude. They don't give a shit about America. They obviously don't give a shit about our border or the border protecting it or anything like that. So, as that one guy was saying in that video early on there, like, why should we care? Why should we follow the laws if Biden and these people are not going to do it too as well? If they're going to openly defy our nation, if they're going to be treasonous pieces of shit, defying our Constitution, trying to fuck with our rights, trying to fuck with our guns, trying to fuck with our, freedom of speech, etc., dude, why should we put up with it anymore, honestly? And it's very true, and I think there's going to be a lot more people that are starting to get into that kind of mindset of reality and that whole mindset of like, no, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going to pay attention to your dumbass anymore. I'm not going to fucking put up with your bullshit rules anymore. And unfortunately, what that's going to lead to is some very fucked up anarchy in this country eventually. And where that leads to, it could be anywhere from civil war to it's just some bad shit really is what it is all the way around. And I think, unfortunately, whenever we get to wherever, it's going to be some bad times ahead. And my best advice to everybody is always be armed, always be carrying. As Tactical Muffin Top has put in the last couple of months here, up your game, dude. Carry extra mags. We need to carry extra mags. Carry, different gun, even for that matter. If you can be in a state where you can legally carry a truck gun or something, where it's like, a PCC or a AR pistol or something like that, do that, honestly. And, do what needs to be done and have something at the ready whenever you're out, just in case, because you never fucking know. You never know if today's going to be the day where, something pops off and you're going to have to be the guy that stops like a whole fucking squad of a sleeper cell or something like that, dude, where it's like 8-10 fucking Islamic terrorists or Chinese foreign nationals, or whatever the case be there, that have decided to do some fucking crazy shit today or whatever the case be, and you have to go full Jack Bauer on their asses. So anyway, but yeah, other than that, that's pretty much where I'm at for the day. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And like I said, I'll be back tomorrow for another Freedom Friday. Hopefully Corey will join me again. And yeah, other than that, though, that's pretty much where we are going to finish off this episode today. And have a good one, y'all. Stay safe, stay vigilant. Always know where your exits and surroundings are. In case something does pop off, you know exactly how you can get out of a place. You know exactly how you can, potentially counter ambush. If we need to counter ambush, whatever the case be there. And make sure nobody's going to, jack your shit if that be the case then. So anyway, have a good one, y'all. Later.